What's up, guys? Moses here, and I hope everybody had a good Christmas, happy holidays, and yeah, the new year is coming real fast. It is New Year's Eve, and looking back at this year, I bought a lot of guitars, definitely, and I figured I'd do a collection video because I have some really cool stuff to show you guys, especially from when I barely first started 11 years ago, and ever since then, it's been a journey. I wouldn't necessarily consider myself a guitar collector, but I'm definitely a player, of course. But throughout the years, I like buying new gear, new guitars, whether it be amps or pedals. Definitely guitars more, but I could consider myself a collector, I guess. I have some good stuff that you don't really see every day, but I still play them. I wouldn't get rid of them, but at the end of the day, I'm still a guitar player for sure. So I want to do this guitar collection to show you guys what I have currently, because it's never going to stop even though you tell yourself you're not going to get any more. No, it doesn't work like that. So I'd figure I'll show you guys my first guitar to what I just recently bought, something really cool, and you guys should definitely stick around for that. Alright, so what I have right here with me is my very first guitar. Back in May 2008, I went to Sam Ash with my father, and we picked out this guitar with a Line 6 Spider 3 10-watt amp, and definitely this is way better than your typical like Squire bundle with a really crappy Wasp's Nest type of amplifier. The guitar is okay, but it's just something I wouldn't recommend to anybody. But this, for a starter guitar, it's pretty decent. It's an Epiphone SG. I forgot the model, but for what it is, it's decent. I haven't played it in a very long time because I just gotten other stuff that is better and just more suited towards my style. But no, for what this is, it's great. Definitely look back on this and say, yeah, this is where it kind of all began, learning like AC/DC, some Aussie stuff and Metallica stuff. It still holds up fairly well. I know if I cleaned it up and set it up, it'd play nicely. But yeah, this is my first guitar where it all started. And yeah, it's a trip. I mean, it is cheap, but it's definitely way better than your $100, like $180 strats. This is decent. So if you were starting off, you don't want something too expensive, you could check these out. They're pretty good. All right, so I had to dig this one out from the gig bags. This is my second guitar. This is an LTD KH202, and this guitar isn't bad, but I was just at the time very unfamiliar and uninformed with Floyd Rose guitars, and I pretty much fucked this thing up. I mean, for what it is, of course. I installed EMG pickups on it, but it had these ESP ones that were okay, and 24 frets, flat neck, something I was looking for when I was getting more into thrash metal and Metallica. And being the fanboy that I am now and was, I definitely had to get this guitar. And I mean, I really fucked this thing up. I didn't know you had to unlock these, and I just wanted something with the Floyd, and I definitely should look more into this. I know if I took in better care of it, it would be a better instrument, but I tried to make it into a hardtail piece a few years ago. It works, but it's just something that really doesn't really it doesn't sound bad, but doesn't play good anymore. And I definitely should have taken more care of this, but this is like $400, and yeah, it's kind of weird looking at it like now, looking at it like this now, and just brings back some cool memories. But yeah, I mean, if you get a guitar with the Floyd Rose, make sure you know what you're getting yourself into, because it's kind of hard to tell. But this pushed forward and some other crap, cracking the wood, and yeah, it's just not the same anymore. But it's okay for what it is. It plays not bad. It plays fine. But yeah, it's cool. Okay, now I would consider this guitar my first official like good guitar. This is the Schecter Avenger, and it plays really well. I wanted a guitar with EMG pickup, something hotter, of course with 24 frets, and something that looked badass. And this thing looks really cool. It has this really nice black quilted maple top, and considering for what you get for $500 or $400, it's a lot. This thing has like Grover tuners, EMG pickups, of course, and like a two-nomatic bridge. It's not locking, but it's decent for what it is. And Yeah, this thing it does not play bad at all. You could set this thing with really low action and there's no buzzing, considering that for $400, $500 it's made in South Korea, where a lot of the high-end Schecters are made still. Yeah, bolt-on neck, very good guitar. Something that I definitely gotten better at with and has made me kind of the player I am today. It pushed me to take things a little more seriously and to see what I can really do with this guitar. But yeah, this is my third guitar. It's great. I like the inlays. Um, for 400, $500 again, you cannot go wrong with something like this. Okay, now I'm starting to get into the higher price range territory, and what I have with me is my Schecter C1 Classic. At the time, I was really into Schecter. I still am now, but this guitar is one of my personal favorites. I just love the blue on it, the quilted maple top, the natural wood binding on the top of the body. The chrome hardware gives it a really nice, classy look, and of course, the Vine of Life abalone inlay is really nice. Grover tuners, Seymour Duncan pickups. There's a lot of quality with this guitar. It's a neck through body, and just considering for the price point of this guitar, like 800-900, you get a whole lot of value and features for this thing. Has a nice warm and rich tone. It just sounds really good. I worked my ass off on FedEx at FedEx. Never worked there, and yeah, this is a good guitar. One of my first high-end guitars. I started going a little more expensive to see if the quality really was worth paying more, right? But yeah, this is definitely my classiest looking guitar. It's just really nice, and I still feel bad for not playing it as much, but I'll never get rid of it because it's a pretty badass guitar. Let me see. Now what I have with me is a 7 string, my first 7 string guitar, and I was listening to a lot of whole Jeff Loomis and Conquering Dystopia and Evermore, so I figured I might as well get a good 7 string, and I have with me the Schecter JL7. At the time, Jeff Loomis was endorsed by Schecter. Now he's with Jackson, but that doesn't make this from being a really good instrument. It plays really well. I love the satin feel of the whole body and neck. The whole guitar has that nice satin feel. A really good Floyd Rose. This is my first good Floyd Rose. It's a 1000 series EMG pickups, 5766. They sound really good. My favorite feature about this guitar is that it has stainless steel frets. That's something you don't see around this type of price point, or not even some like high-end guitars. They don't even have that, but this one does, and it has this nice cutaway. If you have big like bare hands, it just makes it playing up here way easier. And I just love the whole maple fretboard and the kind of vampiric red finish on the guitar. It makes it look really nice, and of course the side inlays glow in the dark. That's something that threw me off too, and it's pretty cool to look at. But yeah, this is my first 7 string. It definitely helped me improve on my technique and introduced me to a whole different style of metal and how to approach a 7 string guitar without sounding too like generic or that type of shit. But yeah, very awesome guitar. Now what I have with me is my old reliable Jackson KE2. Now when I first got this guitar, it was completely white. I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but now it's aging into this kind of yellowish type of color, maybe like nicotine. But other than that, man, this guitar is incredible. This is my first high-end, expensive US made guitar. And of course, it plays fantastic. The Floyd Rose is great. My first original Floyd Rose. Great Seymour Duncan pickups, 24 frets, extra jumbo frets. Bought this guitar like a little over 3 years ago, and it's still one of my favorite guitars because it just plays really well. It's well made, even though the upper fret axis it's not too good for my liking. It still sounds and plays great. There's nothing in the world I would trade this for. Oh, and I did a really bad soldering job, and for some reason, a piece of solder fell into the back of the guitar, and it just hardened, and I had to pick it out. And yeah, I just left this nasty stain mark on the back of the guitar. Thankfully, it's in the back, but you could see there's still some white on the guitar, and you can see it's aging quite nicely, but there are some white spots. If you look closely, I don't know if the camera picks it up or not, but yeah, this is my first high-end, crazy, expensive guitar that I just enjoyed and don't regret spending money on it. Now, I did buy high-end guitars before, but I wanted a good end or a good ESP, right? Not an LTD. So I got myself an ESP E2 after I got my Jackson. Now, this guitar, I always hated V's because it didn't sit properly on my lap or between my legs. And this one felt perfect. This guitar, man, it's incredible. It is an E2, the ESP standard, what is considered now the ESP standard after the whole rebranding issue. Now, yeah, this is my first, again, my first real ESP with great pickups, original Floyd Rose. It feels great to play. I don't regret getting this guitar either because it just looks really badass. The whole arrow and the bevels makes this guitar really look killer, and it's incredible to play, look at. It's one of my favorites too with the Kelly because these are my first two high-end, high-end expensive guitars, and there's nothing I would trade for this because yeah, I've had some history with it. I remember trying to not dink the horns, but you know, when with guitars like this, that's inevitable and it's gonna happen. But yeah, this is a really, really awesome guitar. All right, so after like buying a few, well, buying the ESP Arrow, I'd figure, you know, I look more into ESPs, what else I can get, because I really like the guitar. And I forgot what year, I think like 2017, 2018, I came across this guitar. This is an Edwards ECY 165 CTM. And this guitar is very, very, as you can see, beautiful. I remember a few years I was gassing for this thing really bad, but I never pulled the trigger. I found this guitar hanging at Guitar Center's used section, and then I just knew from there I had it. It has this crazy natural wood finish. Get you a better look at this, and of course you have this Vine of Life type of finish like you'd find on an Ibanez. Steve Vai signature. 27 frets. That's crazy. So the upper fret axis is really, really good. It's a little hard to play up here because the frets are really tiny and kind of close to each other. But now the whole gold hardware and the whole natural look of the guitar, as you can see in the back, you can see the wood, the different layers of wood, and this thing has a really, really smooth neck that I really enjoy. Yeah, this guitar definitely plays amazing. I told myself I'd never get a guitar with the Floyd Rose again, but I ended up getting like 7 of them, which I will show you guys later. But yeah, this is definitely one of my prized possessions for sure. This is something you don't really see every day, and it's amazing. So then I was still obsessed with like ESP and like the Edwards stuff, and I kind of wanted something a little more classier looking, maybe like a Les Paul type of shape. And I remember maybe almost 2 years ago, I ended up getting this LTD Deluxe EC1000, which is like their Eclipse model for LTD. And now this guitar is amazing, man. It has great pickups, great hardware. The green, green is one of my favorite colors, and I like the whole flamed maple top with the green finish in the back too. It's amazing. And even for it being an LTD model, see there's dust. I need to play this shit more. It has a cutaway, so it makes playing up in the higher frets easier. And the locking tuners are okay, but you know, this guitar is incredible, classy looking, very fast neck, very, very hot pickups. If you want something good for thrash, and I mean maybe even modern type of styles of metal, definitely recommend this. It's really, really cool. And I enjoyed playing this guitar, and I still do. And yeah, I just need to play this thing more. It's fantastic. All right, now I have a Edwards Alexi signature model, and yeah, I was still obsessed with ESP guitars, and I have more ESPs than anything. But me being a big children of Bodom fan. I had to get his guitar. I've been gassing for this one for a very long time too, like 5-6 years. I saw Alexi with one of these, the ESP version, but no, I had to have something as close as I can get to it, and this is a very, very uh, good approximation for sure. This is an Edwards, and again, they make copies of signature models, still owned, created by ESP, of course. I really like the scalloped frets on this. It plays great, it plays amazing. I got it used, so of course there's a lot of like damages on the horn and all over the body, but I don't really care because I got a good deal on this guitar. It plays great, and the pink just really pops out on the front and the back. Very amazing guitar. Just love the whole pink sawtooth inlays. Everything about this guitar is just badass. And it sounds massive too with um, the preamp or the extra added distortion to it. It sounds really, really killer, and that single pickup screams. But yeah, it's very awesome. I enjoy this guitar a lot. Now what I have with me is a really cool instrument. I've been collecting V's from that time for a while, and I really enjoyed the shape, so I figured I'd pull the trigger on another USA Jackson. And this is my USA KV2. Man, it plays really good, almost as good as the Kelly. Well, actually, they're about the same. I think this neck is just a little more thinner. Very fast, upper fret axis, perfect. There are some issues with this guitar since it doesn't have a serial number, but it still plays like a USA model, and it's still a USA model on the headstock. It says, you know, what it should say. Everything is intact how a USA KV2 should be. There was a lot of modifications to this guitar, like the guy took it to a plec machine to get stainless steel extra jumbo frets. Other than that, the painkiller pickups sound pretty good, even though I kind of fight with them. But no, I just love the whole white and black bevel color scheme to this guitar. It's very awesome, very badass guitar. I was thinking about selling this, but every time I look at it, I don't know if I should because it's really, really cool. But yeah, Jackson makes a lot of good stuff. If you want a good Jackson, try to save up for a used USA model. You can't go wrong with those USA models because they just play really great. Alright, so now for something a little different, I have with me a Cordoba classical guitar. This is the C7 CD. I do play a little bit of classical guitar. I need to play more because it's just something fun, something that I enjoy to do when I'm not playing electric. This thing sounds great. It's just a nice sounding, nice playing, and obviously a nice looking guitar. And I really needed to restring this crap, but yeah, this is something that I had to show because I enjoy classical guitar and classical music. So I'd figure, hey, why not? It's a nice guitar. For like being 400 or 350, it plays pretty cool. But yeah, maybe I'll play this in the near future on a video or something. But yeah, it's very nice. Now what I have with me here is something very special. I don't think I did this guitar justice when it came to finish, but this is my first Aristides custom guitar. This is the 707 model, and man, this thing plays incredible. I'm gonna see if I can turn off some lights to see if it can get a little bit better on the finish. I don't know if that helped brought out a different color, but yeah, this guitar is definitely my best playing guitar. It feels great. The gold hardware pops, and I just love this Artex Sunset sparkle finish. It's incredible. Every time I look at it and wake up, it's like, damn, I have a really, really nice guitar in my hands. So far, I played the craziest things on this guitar with ease. The neck, I don't know, there's something about these guitars again that make you play better and faster. They sound really good and massive with the whole Arium construction and what it's made out of. But yeah, this is pricey, but definitely worth it. And I would say this is my best and favorite guitar out of my collection. Just one more look. I don't know. That kind of helped. Now I'm getting towards the end of my collection. I do have some other guitars like classic, like another like cheap acoustic and classical, but I put those things far away and I don't feel like getting them. I mean, they're not exactly not worth showing them, but I just figured I'd skip those and show you guys like what I still use and that's still really, really good to this day. But now, of course, I have with me the ESPE2 Babymetal limited edition guitar. And of course, me being a big fan of the band, I had to get it. I was gassing for this guitar for a few years, of course, but now since it's in my hands, it's incredible, man. It's another 7 string, of course, but I just love this whole red and black bevel look to it. Of course, it has it in the back, and this thing plays amazing, even though it's a 25.5 inch scale length for a 7 string, which is something I don't really like. No, there's no issue with this. It plays very fine, stays in tune pretty well. The EMGs sound great. The lumen lay side dot inlays, they are green and they look pretty good in the dark. I played with this thing a lot recently, and now it's becoming one of my favorite guitars, along with the other 2 3 that I just said. But no, this thing is great. Of course, I'm trying to baby this thing as much as possible so I don't get any dings on it. But no, the ebony is very black, jumbo frets. Of course, again, the red and black and the white just make this guitar pop and make it an incredible fucking guitar. But yes, very, very, very nice guitar I have with me today. Not today, but with me as a review. With a review? But yeah, very nice guitar. Well, that pretty much sums up the collection that I have with me currently. I know it's going to be ever expanding and it's not going to stop anytime soon. Let me know what you guys thought about the guitars. Which one was your favorite? Let me know what you guys have in your collection. What was your first guitar, your favorite guitar, best guitar that you currently own or played? Because, I just like guitars and just talking about them. And I do have one more thing to show you guys. I just bought this recently. I haven't done a review of it yet, but I'll just wait 1 second. Sorry if I keep shifting that camera. The room is really tight right now with all the guitars. But no, I don't know if the camera can pick this guitar up with its finish, but I have an ESP Original Series Andromeda Arrow. This thing is freaking crazy, man. It plays really good. And of course, the bevels are fucking insane. Like, it goes from purple like to this pinkish blue, green at times. It just depends how you're looking at it. I'm gonna try to turn off the light. Maybe it picks up on it a different way. But this guitar is amazing. This is the pinnacle of a metal guitar. This is the holy grail when it comes to ESP. This is definitely their, I wouldn't say flagship model, but this is the thing that makes ESP what they are. It is incredible. The neck is very fast, very smooth. The frets are pretty damn big. Even though I have E2s, I feel like these frets, I don't know, they just did a way better job on this guitar. It's completely handmade. The other ones aren't, but yeah, I'll just talk about this guitar more in the review video, but I just felt like I had to show you guys this guitar. Very amazing. And that's about it. Yeah, I mean, happy holidays, happy New Year's, and let's see what the new year brings. And thank you for subscribing and watching my videos, even though I kind of don't upload too often. But yeah, stick around. There's a lot of cool stuff coming. But yeah, thank you so much for everything and happy holidays.